Hello and welcome back to Roads Yet Traveled. We will be continuing where we left off, which, if you recall, is after having a conversation with the captain about what is going to happen with the visiting officials. And right after the whole conversation, Tucker runs right into Rhyss, who we don't really know much about yet, but they certainly seem to have a vested interest in Tucker. Whether or not they know that they can talk with him or not, we don't actually know anything about that, is yet to be seen. But I assume if they're that interested in Tucker that they probably have a way to communicate with him by now. You're probably also looking at the new main menu art, which is all nice and beautiful. It's really cool when Cryptid showed it to me, so like, yay. Anywho, what else? Like I said, we don't really know much about Rhyss, which is the husky that Tucker ran into, but they're very interested in him, even though the captain said that, like, yeah, just stay out of the way and, the company really shouldn't have any reason to be interested in you or to be bothering you if you sort of stay out of the way. So, like, just, chill, dude, Anywho, so yeah. The first thing that happens is Tucker runs right into somebody. Anywho, so without further ado, let us continue Roads Yet Traveled. And I am recording this at midnight because it is the only time that I have to record, so you better appreciate this. Oh, there you are, little Comet. I've been dying to meet you. The new Karain stands motionless, unblinking as he gazes down at me. He makes no moves nor effort to elaborate as the seconds begin to drag. He simply coughs into an open paw and reclaps his hands. Is this the guy that I was supposed to avoid? If so, I'm doing a great fucking job at it. Although, what did he mean by that? I've been dying to meet you? I guess Sockness knows more than they were letting on. That doesn't surprise me. But does that mean that the captain was lying to me too? Or has she been kept in the dark as well? Are you alright? Shit, even if I didn't fuck up, it seems as though this was gonna happen regardless. Still, I might as well try and salvage this the best that I can. Managing to turn away, I scratch the back of my neck and start trotting off, away from this cold reception and his even colder stare. Looking back, I notice that he's still not moved, perhaps only to face me as I go, and I can't help myself but to offer a stilted, sorry, I, have to go. Oh. Is now not a good time? No, I just... What? I almost trip over myself as the thought connects in my mind and I whip my neck around to face the new Karain. Do you understand me? Unfazed even now, he simply cocks his head but an inch and lets out an almost unnervingly calm. Of course. What? What? I was told that you would be around here somewhere. Although I must say I wasn't prepared to meet you so soon. No? What? Oh, I apologize for the confusion. His voice is light, almost airy in its timbre, and yet somehow it sounds strained, as if the highest that he can raise it is this, somehow just above a whisper. It's a soft thing too, for such a tall crane unlike any that I've heard so far. I'm sorry. I've been so rude. I know who you are, and yet I've not introduced myself. My name is Shepherd He's cut off by the sound of boots approaching as we both turn our heads to face the grand doors before they're thrown wide open. Oh, Tucker, you're still here, good. I needed to remind you that. Greetings, Captain Ball. Hello, Shepherd? Have we met? No, I don't believe so. Right. The sanctum is in column A, just follow the signs. I'll be sure to see you down there myself, at some point. That is wonderful to know, thank you. She offers him a wimp wave of a salute before turning back to me. So, Tucker, as I was saying, you need to... Her foot starts tapping on the padded floors, as it seems as though her message didn't quite get across. You are dismissed, Shepard. You may leave. I need to speak to my associate here, and I'd appreciate some privacy, Oh, I can wait. No, you will not. Leave us, now. If that is what you wish. Should I come back for our meeting at another time then? Excuse you? Our meeting, Captain Ball. I was told to meet with you upon arriving at the station. I apologize. We docked earlier than expected. If you need a moment, I'd be happy to wait elsewhere. Who in the void do you think you are? Almost uncharacteristically from what I've seen so far, the new Karain seems annoyed at her response. I wouldn't have even been able to tell, but his nostrils flare as he lets out an almost silent huff. Centering himself, however, he takes a very slight bow before addressing the captain, and I'm sure the room as a whole. I am Shepard Rhyss, Dino, Director of Soknos Internal Affairs. I was told that you would be expecting my arrival. Upon hearing that, the captain's eyes squint, and she straightens herself out. Marching over to the shepherd, she stands but a few feet away, forcing him to look up at her, just ever so slightly. Let me repeat myself, since clearly something got loose in translation. Who do you think you are? I don't think I follow. I know the director, and it's not you. So tell me, why are you here? Unfazed, the shepherd simply unfurls a gentle paw and speaks in a calm tone. There must be some confusion here. Who exactly were you planning on meeting here today? Her eyes twitch once more, as her patience is tested to its limits. I'm almost worried for the new Karain at this point. I think she's one question away from making him leave by force. Through gritted teeth, though, she answers his question. Director Jorst, head of Soknos Internal Affairs and lower board representative. Short, portly, has an awful laugh, and is certainly not you. A moment of silence airs itself out before the Karain goes to speak, only to stop himself. His eyes half-lit as he looks down to the side, before bringing a paw up to his mouth as he lets out a small sigh. Oh, were you not informed? Informed of what? The director is no longer with us. He clenches his chest gently as the words leave his lips, refusing still to make eye contact with the captain any longer. He retired? When? No, my captain. He passed away through the eye. He what? By the void? He's dead? He was younger than me. When did this happen? The shepherd takes a moment to gather his thoughts as he rubs his paw with one of his thumbs, his thick fur getting messied in the process. It was very recent and even more sudden, or so I was told. I've had to fill the station in his absence, although I worry that I may not live up to his legacy. May his journey be swift. And may it be painless. She says this with a dismissive hand wave. But why in the void am I only learning about this now? There are at least 2 other board members on this station besides me, and this is the first that I've heard of it. That may have been my fault. The sudden change of position has been challenging. I thought that I went through the proper channels to make sure that everyone would be aware of the changes, but I believe now that there have been some errors in my methods. Some errors? I'm sorry for the miscommunication. I only fully assumed the position earlier this month. And they sent you here already? Why? Well, I may be new, but I am still the Director of Internal Affairs, and that was what was called for, and therefore I came. Right. And what exactly did you manage before this? I've never heard of a Shepherd board member before. Her tone, less blatantly aggressive now, is still dripping with a cynical tune. I ran Socknos 8 programs on Io. It is a small part of our outreach branch there. Never heard of it. It must have... Are you sure that... Biting her tongue, I noticed that she suddenly turned to lock eyes with me. Returning an uncertain stare, I can't help but wonder if I'm suddenly in trouble or not. Tucker, might I ask you... leave this to me for now? I need you to go, now. It seems as though that the Shepherd and I are going to have to discuss some things. I'll be in touch. Yeah, of course. I'll wait for a text. Please do. If it's all the same with you, Captain, he is free to stay, if he wishes. Belle, seemingly confused by this, quickly regains her composure as she shakes her head and gestures towards the door. That won't be necessary. Now in my office, if you would. The Shepherd kindly bows his head and begins taking silent steps towards the great doors. He does, however, stop halfway there and turns to me one last time, if only to say, I look forward to when we will speak again, little Comet. Before slipping into the doors. The Captain, either not regarding me anymore or simply too annoyed to bother, simply shakes her head and slips inside as well. Well, this has certainly been an interesting morning. And it's only, what, the 11th mark? By the fucking void, what have I gotten myself into? Heading back to the executive suite, I find myself just sitting outside of one of the benches, people watching. I'm not really sure what to do with the rest of the day. I haven't heard from Rhoun since earlier, which feels strange, but I'm sure that he's just busy. What in the void was that, though? I know Socknos' internal policies were strange, but even the Captain was confused, and I don't have a clue what to think about this new Karain, this Shepherd. Rhyss, was it? He seemed kind, but something was off. I don't know. Although, why was he so confident that we'd be speaking again? Maybe I'll wait and see what the Captain says when she's done with him. If she ever remembers to message me. I'm sure she's going to be swamped, especially now that things seem to be moving unpredictably. Suddenly a bit worried, I pull out my phone and idly shoot Rhoun a message. Hey bud, where are you at? It takes a good minute or so, but a response does eventually crawl in. I think I'm near one of the water treatment tanks. I kind of can't tell. Are you lost? Another few minutes tick away with no response. Rhoun? Maybe a little bit. I'll figure it out. Sorry, I'm just trying to get a few more things done before the Socknos person arrives. Arrived. Huh? He's here already. I, might have bumped into him when I was taking a walk. What floor are you on? I can open a service hatch for you to hide in. Quickly. What? Rhoun, it's fine. I'm back in our room. Oh. Well, maybe you should tell me what happened? After work, actually. I think I'm about to lose service again. Yeah, of course. I think I'm going to rest and collect my thoughts for a bit anyways. Is the last thing that I send him, as I wait for a response that I know won't come. Letting out a small huff, I roll my eyes and pocket my phone. Resting my head in my hands, I take a few moments to breathe before laying back on the bench. I feel lightheaded. A few rogue white dots swirl on the edges of my vision as I stare into the sterile overhead lights. Just yesterday, everything felt so light. Promising even. And now I worry that the calm might have just slipped away. Things are moving fast. I'll just have to keep up, I guess. Rubbing my arms, a slight chill shoots down my spine as a sudden cold creeps in. I might as well just head back into the room for a bit. I really do need to collect my thoughts after all of that. A few marks have passed away and I've made no progress in recording anything but the most basic of details about what happened this morning. All of it happened so fast that it almost feels impossible trying to make sense of it all. And I barely have enough paper to keep going as it is. I've already ripped out the few blank pages from my book and used those, and I don't think Rhoun would appreciate it if I started doing that in his books as well. Now that I've had more than a mark to think about it, I'm suddenly less worried that this Comet is here and more just confused. I'm not sure even he understands why he's here. I mean, he had an answer, sure, but I can't really tell if he believed it himself. I guess there's no way of knowing unless I end up seeing him again. I wouldn't hold my breath though. Even the captain said that I should stay out of his way, so I should probably do my best to do so. Although, fuck, I'm not sure how much it matters anymore since Socknose definitely knows that I'm here. Maybe that's what was throwing me off? Most people freak out when they meet me, but him? He seemed excited? I haven't really met a Karain since Merowyn that was that eager to meet me. Well, actually maybe Tiu as well, but I think she's an outliner. Regardless, with the way people have reacted to the news that a Socknose representative was coming, I figured things would be a lot worse. But he kind of just said hello to me. And he understood me. I almost forgot. As I scramble to jot that down though, a thought dawns on me. Socknose doesn't just know that I'm here. They've known that I've been here. Fuck. I wonder how long they've known. Surely it's been a while that they've found a way to understand me, right? Although maybe I shouldn't jump to conclusions. They could have just been using Tyr's research or something. But with the way that Rhyss was talking to me, I kind of doubt that. Putting down my pencil, I head over to my bed and lay back against the wall, kicking my boots off. What does it matter if Socknose knows that I'm here? I mean, really. No one's ever sat me down and explained why it would be so bad. I know the captain's afraid of their meddling, but I'm still not entirely sure what that means. I know that I'm in no place to second guess her. She clearly has had more experience with dealing with them than I have, but would it be that bad? I guess it doesn't really matter anymore. They certainly know that I'm here, now, so all I can do now is see how they act on that information. I just hope that they're not as cryptid as the rest of the directors around here. Trying to get a straight answer from Tyr is like pulling teeth. Pulling out my monitor, I flick it on and notice a distinct lack of new messages. I can only imagine what they must be talking about. Although, considering how she spoke to Tyr, I'm almost upset that I'm missing it. He invited me to listen in too, didn't he? What a strange Karain. I'm almost worried that I want to talk to him again. Resting my eyes, I quickly fall prey to the warmth of the blankets as the room is subsumed by nothing but thoughts and darkness. Even still, I try to piece together any of what happened this morning, to little effect. I can tell sleep is coming, and I all but let it take me. And yet, on the precipice of repose, I can't help but shake the all too well known and all but unwelcome feeling that I'm being watched. My hands shudder as I grip the wheel. I can't remember how long that I've been driving, or where. I know the way, but to what? Next exit on the left, hard to port. I turn the helm, avoid the rocks, and stare at my hands. The sea breeze becomes suddenly sterile as the blues turn to purples to black. When did this cockpit become so cramped? I used to think that I had so much more space. I used to know where I was going. I used to... My hands shake as I wipe a tear from my eye and force myself to push the pedal down. It's a long highway ahead, cold, barren, and battered by the winds. But I'll keep on going. I have to. As I take off, though, I cannot but wonder. Who really is behind the wheel? Ugh. Ugh. What fucking time is it? The monitor flicks on. 23rd mark. No new messages. Sitting up, I scratch the back of my head as I take in the room. Still too early for Rhoun to be home, especially now. Rubbing my head, I feel a slight headache come on as a chill rushes over me. Getting up, I rub my arms and reach for my jacket. It's a small comfort, but it's enough. It doesn't do much to help with the headache, though. Sitting back at the desk, I pick up my pencil and start flipping through all of my notes. I don't think that I'm gonna make any more progress today, but at this point, it's a better read than anything else that I have here, so... Going from the beginning, I cross a few things out and update what I can, but it's not much. Not that I have any more space to add, as it is. Even my fucking margins are full at this point. I mean, I probably shouldn't have tried to doodle in all the logos that I've seen, but it seemed like a good idea at the time. It's fine. It's not like I have to write a report on it or anything. Time slips away as I work, and before I know it, 2 marks have passed. At this point, I'm just clicking the top of my pen and staring at the pages, but it's about how well that I normally study, so I'd say things are going swimmingly. Better than that, actually, as I suddenly hear the sound of footsteps coming from outside. Not bothering to roll my chair around, I simply wait and pray that it's my roommate and not some other executive coming back for the day. That's honestly happened a few times before, so it's best not to get my hopes up. Although, as the footsteps stop, I hear the telltale sign of keys rustling. I think that it might be my man. Bond villain-esque, I roll the chair around and slump down, waiting for the door to open. Oh, hey there, bud. What are you doing? Waiting. For? You. Oh, well, the wait is over. He scratches the back of his neck as he slowly meanders into the room, the door locking behind him. A bit slovenly, even more than usual, he starts to put his things away as he hangs up his jacket and tears off his work boots. Something's off, though, as I can clearly see him trying to not act suspicious as he tries and fails to sneak a worried glance my way. You alright, bud? Me? I'm fine. Why? He says in a quite unconvincing manner as he shoots up and glares at me wide-eyed. Are you sure? It was a long day, Tucker. I could barely focus on anything after you messaged me. I was so worried about if you were alright and... I thought the board member wasn't arriving until tonight, and then you told me that they were here already, and I didn't know how to help or what to do, and... It's okay, bud. It's okay. His breath calms as he finishes taking off his jacket and getting comfortable for the night. As he takes a seat at his bed, I roll over next to him and wait for him to turn to me. After futzing with his paws a bit, he eventually faces me with an almost pleading expression. I worry about you, bud. How did this happen? What happened? I promise that it's not as bad as you think. I just went for a walk and was in the wrong place at the wrong time. It really wasn't my fault. A raised eyebrow cuts me off. Well, I mean, it's definitely partially my fault. But it's like you said, no one expected them to show up so early. Even the captain was surprised. The captain? Realizing my mistake, I break eye contact and do my best to swivel the chair away before a synthetic arm wheels me back towards him, trapping me between a wall of metal and one of flesh. But the captain hasn't messaged any of us yet. What do you mean? Well, I mean, I did go for a walk this morning. And, well, it was just a walk to the captain's office. Why? To talk to her. Words fail him as only guttural confusion escapes from his open muzzle. Eventually, he just palms his face and takes a moment to center himself before turning back to me. And why did we talk to the captain? Well, I wanted to ask her about the board member who was coming. No one's been able to answer any of my questions, so I thought I'd ask her. Blinking a few times out of apparent confusion, he eventually lets out a short chuff before continuing. So, did you just hear that the board member was here then? 'Cause she told you? Oh no, I walked into him right outside of her office. Tucker. Hey! He can only shake his head and let out a small and exasperated chuckle as he rubs his paws together in his lap. Alright. Maybe this is okay. We can figure something out, yeah? I just want to make sure you're safe, okay? Of course, Rhoun. I'm sorry. No, none of that. I'm sorry if that sounded accusatory. I'm just... Well, you know, we'll figure something out. It's okay. But, do you think that I can shower first? Of course, Rhoun. Letting out a small, cheery huff, he gets up and strides past me, his tail almost brushing against my face as I lay slovenly in his chair. From behind me, he lets out a soft, "Oh, and, I set up some food to be delivered, okay? So, if that gets here, then, please bring it in, yeah?" You got it. I say with a lazy thumbs up. Another chuckle before the bathroom door slides shut, leaving me alone in the room once more. I might as well get cleaned up too. This is gonna be quite the talk. Dinner promptly arrives, and just in time, as once I finish setting everything out, Rhoun impishly walks out of the bathroom. Giving him some privacy, I stay turned away until I hear him creep up behind me. Patting me on the shoulder, he walks back over and takes a seat, immediately ripping into his meal. Well, he seems a lot better. I guess that shower did him good after all. This is so good. I forgot my lunch in the hub today, so I've been starving all my shift. Thanks for setting it up, by the way. All you had to do was bring it inside, you know. Oh, no worries. Feeling any better? Yeah, a bit. He says with a bit of trepidation as he swallows another bite. So, did you think that we could talk about what happened? It can wait until you finish your meal though, if you want. No, it's okay. Well, like I said, I wanted to get some answers about what's been going on around here, so I thought since no one else knows, maybe I could just ask the captain. What made you think that she'd answer? She's surprisingly open with me. At times. even if everything she says is a fucking riddle. I guess she has been a bit more lenient with you, considering, well... Yeah. She's more than aware of my situation, so I'll take what I can get from her. That's good. I could never. But, what happened? What did she say? Well... As I go about explaining what was said this morning, he listens calmly while snacking on the rest of his dinner. He only shies away slightly when I mention Tyr and the Mayron, and only stops me when I mention the executive. So, you only saw them after the meeting, right? Yeah, right outside her office. He showed up out of nowhere. Not even the captain was ready for him. I'm sure security isn't happy about that. And by that, I'm sure that he means Maruk, in all but name. But why was the captain confused? I figured that she of all people would know about what was coming. You'd think that, but I guess not this time. Although from what the board member said, he's not been in the position for long, and I guess no one told the captain that a change has happened. Well, was that it? You said that they didn't stay around for long. Did they say anything else? Well, not really. It was more about what he didn't say rather than what he did, though. His head flops to the side as I elaborate. He knew my name, Rhoun. He understood my language. He was expecting to see me. Socknose knows that I'm here. He looks like he's about to faint, but he manages to catch himself and bark out a, "What?" His arm starts whirling as it digs into his sheets and bed beneath. How? I don't know. I didn't have time to ask, and the captain didn't say anything either before whisking him away. Like I said, I didn't get to see him for long. Taking a moment to center himself, the lights in the room dim as the second sun on his shoulder sets. With a few deep breaths and some water, he continues. Well, that was a bit worse than you made it out to be. The fact that Socknose knows that you're here is worrying, to say the least. But we can work with this. Maybe they said something else that we can use here? It really wasn't much, bud. I only talked to him for like a minute or so before I had to go. After that, the captain took the shepherd into her office and sent me on my way. Huh? What? Was a shepherd there? I thought the sanctum was in column A. What was he doing all the way over there? Huh? No, the executive was a shepherd. Said that he was, at least. What? Are you sure? Pretty sure. Why? That's just... strange. I didn't think that Socknose had any ties to the faith like that. Huh? What am I missing here? Why is that weird? He's just a holy man or something, right? Well, yeah. But Socknose isn't a religious organization, so... I've never heard of any of them ever taking office in any way. Is that a religious thing? I'm sorry, I just don't really follow. Oh, a bit. I'm pretty sure that you're supposed to, forego worldly goods to lighten their journey to the eye, which, is a fancy way of saying that they usually don't own much. And taking a position on the board of Socknose directors feels a bit, well, it feels a bit strange. What do they usually do then? Give sermons? I haven't been to a sanctum regularly since I lived in Io. They run 8 programs and stuff like that. Otherwise, they're pretty... insular? Isn't the right word, but, They usually stick to themselves. Oh, now that you mention it, he did say something like that. I think he said that he ran some programs on Isle before all of this. Either that or some part of Socknos that managed that kind of thing. Well, there you go. It's not that uncommon to see a shepherd around in daily life, but to see one here, like this, it feels almost profane. What do you mean by that? I'm sorry, I'm just still a bit confused about your religion. Religions? Oh, right. I guess we haven't brought that up much, huh? Well, there's only really one. Religion, that is. There's plenty of different ways people go about worshipping it, but it's all focused on the same thing. The eye is that thing. Yeah, I got that part. Oh, okay. Just making sure. Well, I haven't practiced much since I was younger, but even then I'd probably think that it'd be weird if I heard that my shepherd was going to help run a massive tech conglomerate. No, that makes sense. The captain was confused too. Actually, I think he was a bit confused as well. Although he still seemed surprisingly adamant about being here. That's certainly unusual. To think that the captain was thrown off by this too is worrying. Well, was there anything else? Or was that it? No, I think that was it. Well, actually, I don't know how to put this, but he seemed pretty confident that we speak again. I get the impression that he was expecting to meet me and that we'd talk. His head flops to the side as a scowl cuts across his muzzle, clearly put off by what I've said. That's concerning. If he was so adamant, he must have known more than we thought. What should I do? Lifting a paw, he rubs one of his ears, mushing it about as he tries to think of something. Sharp teeth bite into thin lips as he purses his mouth in concentration. I need to sleep on it. Dropping his arms as he turns towards me, placing a mechanical paw on my shoulder. There's no doubt that you're more aware of this than anyone, but things are strange now. Things around here usually move fast, but this was unexpected. I won't pretend that I'm not a bit freaked out with how bold Socknos is being either. Once we get a better idea of what's going on, then we can plan something. I promise, I want to keep you safe more than anything, Tucker. But right now, the best thing the both of us can do is stay calm. We'll figure something out, okay? Okay. Letting out a sigh, he leans forward, bumping his head into mine as he does his best to comfort me. Nervously, I rub his shoulder as he leans back, giving me a cautious look. Worst comes to worst, we can just hide you away in the service tunnels until they leave. I'm pretty sure that I have the only updated master file on all the pathways down there. But don't you get lost down there like every other day? I never said that I carry them on me. Whether intended as a joke or not, his absurd statement does almost make me crack a smile through the nervous atmosphere of the room. With a one last sigh and a pat of acknowledgement, he gets up and heads behind me to finish getting ready for the night, just as a thought comes to me. The captain thinks that Socknos might be more interested in the May run than me. That was before we knew that they knew that I'm here, but still, it's a possibility. Well, they could be. It should be operational again by tomorrow night at the latest. Huh? How do you know that? Tucker, who do you think did all the repairs? Not on the Mayron itself, sure, but everything else. Oh, right. Still, that's soon. Yeah, I'm a bit surprised too. I looked back at my work logs from previous, tests, and usually it takes a bit longer for them to finish everything. I guess they wanted to impress the shepherd? Huh? Well, as far as I see it, that's just another thing to worry about now. Alright, thanks. As he goes about setting some things up for himself tomorrow, and I go about making my bed, I can't help but feel a bit dejected by how the day went. I was so close to making things easier for the both of us, and then what? I don't know. Maybe I should be going about this differently. Hearing a sigh from behind me though, I know that I'm not the only one beating myself up. Walking up behind him, I notice his movements are rigid and tense as he keeps dropping the little pieces that he's working with. As he lets out another sigh, I cave, wrapping an arm around his side and leaning into his shoulder. For a moment he tenses up and shies away from the contact only to slowly step into it. You'll be okay, Tucker. Do you need anything else tonight? He says, wrapping his free arm around my back. No. A soft whir envelops us as he rubs my shoulder with his plastic fingers, and yet the warmth is there all the same. I don't hold him long, as we both need our rest, but as the lights go out and we share our final goodnights, I can't help but feel a little bit better. I don't know what tomorrow will bring, as I never have, and with that comes a certain dread. But tonight, things are quiet. Tonight, there will be no more questions nor riddles. Tonight I close my eyes and graciously slip away. Day 21. I think I slept on my arm or something. Rolling out of bed, I slowly open and close my hand as a horrid tingling sensation pulses through my limb. Eventually, it starts to fade as my eyes open more clearly and I take in the light of the new day. It is a bit presumptuous, but the fluorescence will have to do. Rhoun isn't in his bed, but I think that I hear something in the bathroom and decide not to panic just yet. Thinking about the day to come, I realize that I have no real schedule anymore. It was nice knowing what I'd be doing in the coming days, even if it was just hanging around in the lab. But now, the uncertainty is unwelcome. With the sensation finally gone from my arm, I get up just as Rhoun steps out from the other room. Morning, Tucker. I'm glad that you got up before I had to head out. You're heading out already? What time is it? 7th mark. I have to go in early today to finish some prep work in case the board member wants to inspect anything. Oh, but before I go, the captain sent us a message about the shepherd that you met. I didn't have time to go through it all yet, but the important part is that she said that she'd send us his schedule by midday at the latest. Once we have that, it shouldn't be too hard to keep you out of his way. After today? Well, by dinner at the latest. No, I'm sorry. I just wanted to double check. That's great, honestly. I'm glad that she's moving things along. Although the lack of a message from her is a bit worrying. I'm sure that I'm pretty low on her priorities right now, though. Yeah, I'll be sure to let you know as soon as I have that figured out. But until then, I really need to go. Oh, yeah, no problem. Thanks, Rhoun. Of course. Oh, and I think Milo said that he could come by at some point and drop off lunch for you, so keep an ear up for him, okay? Will do. I say with a yawn as I finally sit up properly. As he goes to leave, he steps in front of my bed and leans over, putting a paw on my shoulder. This is good, Tucker. Everything will be okay. Yeah, thanks. Now, get out of here or you'll be late. With a grin, he pats my cheek and heads out, leaving me to roll my eyes as I head in to wash up and get ready for another day of sitting on my ass and doing nothing. Well, this has been about as boring as I expected it to be. by the void. I mean, he could have at least left me with something to do. It's fine. Days like these are necessary from time to time, I get it. Doesn't mean that I'm not going to complain about it though. Pacing the room now, I find myself filled with a strange wanderlust, almost. I finally was able to walk the halls myself, and then suddenly Socknose shows up and even takes that from me. We'll have to see how bad the damage is after we get that itinerary, but I'll be surprised if I'm going to be able to get out much soon, at least for a while. Tapping my foot on the ground, I impatiently check my phone every few minutes, just waiting for any sign. I dare not message first though, as I know how busy he is today. Speaking of messages though, I still haven't heard hide nor tail from the captain. I'm not sure what she can do for me now, but I'm almost worried for her? Maybe that isn't the right word. I'm fairly sure that she can take care of herself, but still. Well, worrying won't do me any good. I might as well try to find something to entertain myself. Still nothing. No messages, no news, no nothing. I'm just getting anxious at this point. It's almost the 17th mark too, and I haven't even heard from Milo yet. I'm sure that he's still coming by, and maybe I can ask him about what's going on, but like, would he even know? Ugh, I don't know why I'm getting so nervous about this. All that's happening is that we're getting the schedule of some guy who hasn't even had his job for a month yet. It's almost embarrassing that there's so much pomp being put into this. Tirade over. I take a seat on my bed and rub my forehead. My skin's cold, just enough to be unpleasant to the touch. Who knows what'll happen by the end of the day. I'll just have to be ready for it. This horror will grow mild, this darkness light. I would kill for a good fucking book right now. Void, even just an okay book would be better than nothing. Picking up my own pacing, I clean the room a bit and set my clothes aside for the next few days. They're all the same, of course, but the one day that I mix in my clothes from home is always fun. It's like a casual Fridays, but I have no hope of ever going home after my shift. Still, it's nice to wear something that reminds me of where I come from, even if it is just some shitty graphic tee. Looking over my work, I hear some footsteps walking by in the hallway, only for them to pass me by. It doesn't really seem like Milo to forget something like that. Well, maybe. But anyways, things are probably kinda busy today. I'm not even that hungry. I think I just want the company at this point. I mean, maybe I should just send them a The sound of footsteps approach once more as a soft rap can be heard against the door. Oh, I guess I was complaining over nothing. Give me a tick. I shout as I throw on my jacket. There's no need to be formal with Milo, but at this point I'm just getting fucking cold. Rubbing my hands together, I open the door and... Oh, there you are, little Comet. It seems as though I had the wrong room. Crack. My heart rate spikes as I slam the door shut, locking it in the process. Backing away, I hear a soft, "Is now a bad time?" coming from the hallway. The fact that it sounds so goddamn sincere only worries me more. What do you want? Who are you even? I am Shepard Rhyss Dino, Director of Socknos Internal Affairs and... I know that. I mean... How the fuck did he find me here? Shouldn't he be with the captain all day? Why doesn't he have a security escort or something? Racked with innumerable questions, I find myself backing into the corner, expecting the door to open and for him to burst in. It does not, of course. Are you all right? No. Oh. What is even happening anymore? My breath has become stilted, and I'm afraid that I'm going to faint, but the shepherd's soft voice slips through the cracks once more. I've just come to introduce myself, if you'd allow me. A solid minute passes in silence as I slowly regain my breath, and stand myself back up. He must hear me too, as when I start slinking towards the door, he continues. Yesterday might not have been the most auspicious time to exchange pleasantries, and I thought as though perhaps I could make amends to that. Why? Wait, fuck that. How can you even understand me? Why are you here? I hear an ever so soft huff from the other side of the door as he continues. Why do you think that I am here, Comet? Because of... Me? The May run? Just a regular check-in? Once again, another thing that could have and should have been explained to me before something like this happened. May I ask a question? Sure. Are you afraid of me? I don't know. What do you know of me? Huh? You said you are unsure if you are afraid of me. Then, what do you know of me? Not much, really. Besides some perfunctory titles and some grand idea of corporate scheming, I know... nothing. I guess. And I of you. That's wonderful in a way, is it not? The chance to meet someone new for the first time. May I ask that you open the door? I could step away if that would make you more comfortable. There are too many thoughts racing through my mind to pinpoint any good ones. He already knows that I'm here, so what's the point in hiding now? What can Soknos even do? He came alone, I thought, so... Shakily, my hand reaches for the keypad and unlocks the door, slowly sliding it to the side. To his word, he has backed up a few feet as well. Slumping against the doorframe, a bit more disheveled than before, I do my best to look up at him, ready to fall back inside at any moment. Ah, you look lovely today, Comet. Thanks? He responds with a soft nod. Now, as I were, there are still introductions to be had. I may be Shepherd Rhyss Dino of Soknos, but you may call me Rhyss. Sure. He seems a bit confused, but he continues. As you know, I am here on behalf of Soknos, but personally I would like to grant you a formal welcome to Allrain as well. It is not often that we have visitors. Thanks. What are you here for, though? For Soknos. You can be here to introduce yourself, but why were you sent here? Many reasons, little Comet. You amongst them. Is that upsetting? Unexpected would be the word. Ah, I see. Does he? Although, honestly, with that intense stare he sports, I imagine that he might. I don't suppose you could elaborate on that, huh? I'd be glad to. That's the issue. Huh? I'd love to converse with you, Comet. Like about Soknos? If that is what you'd wish. Is this guy for real? Considering everything that I've heard about them so far, I can't say that I fully trust it. But what other options do I have at this point? Alright. Well, what can you tell me then? He smiles, covering his mouth as he lets out a small huff of a laugh. Is this truly what you'd like to discuss things? I'm more than willing to converse with you here, Comet. But is an empty hallway really the place for it? Did you have a better idea in mind? I may. Ugh, I simply do not like the sound of this. I was just on my way to inspect one of the meeting rooms I've since co-opted for my stay here. Would you care to join me? Like an office? Something of the likes. This can't be a good idea. Am I really going to let this guy take me to a secondary location? I should probably at least text Rhoun first, right? Ugh. But he's going to be so worried though. He seems harmless enough. And if he wanted me, well, dealt with, I imagine that he would have done that by now. I'll just make sure to leave a note or something in case I end up on the side of a stair or milk carton. Sure. Let me just, get cleaned up. Of course, he says with an almost worryingly genuine amount of mirth. Slowly creeping back inside, I finish throwing on my boots and grabbing my belongings. The thought does come to me to just lock the door and wait. But all I've wanted for so long is just answers. Something. I've gotten some, sure, but all from the voices that have a vested interest in whatever the fuck goes on around here. This is something new. Oh man, I just really hope that this office isn't an airlock. Heading back out, I notice Rhyss standing eerily still, as if he hasn't moved a muscle since I left. Are you ready, Comet? Sure. What is this place again? Simply an extra room. I requested some space to conduct interviews with staff, as well as to meditate and pray, if I find the time. It wouldn't have been proper of me to ask that I take the sanctum while I stay here, so what they gave me shall suffice. Right. Lead on. Gesturing with a hand, he nods before gracefully heading down the hallway. I haven't had much time to really observe him before, but now that I can, he's so very, very different from any Karain that I've met so far. He moves with a certain flow that can't be ignored, and yet I find myself having no issue keeping pace with him. He must be mindful of the differences in our gait, and yet, how? We've just met. Have you enjoyed your stay here, Comet? Huh? Your time here, is it enjoyable? Fulfilling? Is he running me through an employee review or something? What kind of question is that? Surely he knows that I don't exactly ask to be here, right? I mean, it's been a bit challenging. You do know that I didn't come here on purpose, right? Oh, I am aware. Evermore the reason to make sure you are content, no? Oh, was he just asking for my sake? Right. I do hope you are, by the way. Content. I simply rub my arm and look away, unsure as how to really answer that right now. If I could be of aid in some way regarding that, do let me know, Comet. Right. Hey, why do you keep calling me that? Comet. That's not my name, you know that, right? He covers his mouth again and lets out a small chuckle before turning to me. Yes, I am aware of that, Tucker. Though, I must say, when I was first informed of your presence here, no name was given at the time. So I picked my own. I thought it fitting. Why? Is that not what you are? Something that only graces our system once in a lifetime? Beautiful and awe-inspiring, yet wholly independent from it all. I guess? Thanks? Of course. Hey, aren't comets just like balls of gas and ice? He lets out a small chuckle before turning to me. Perhaps. If you would prefer it, I would be more than happy to address you however you see fit. Oh, whatever is fine for you is okay. I was just, curious. He smiles and turns to me slightly in the hall. I'll stick to Comet then, if that's all the same. With 1,000 questions brimming in my mind, I can't decide on what to ask next. And yet, as the burgeoning thoughts begin to temper, we arrive at a door in an all-too-abandoned hall. This should be it. Noticing the Socknos logo plastered around the door, I can only assume that he's right. With a wave of his paw, the door opens and he steps in, leaving me to follow. What did he say this room was for again? This is almost as nice as the captain's office. With a grace, he walks over and takes a step at the far side of the table, gesturing to me to take my own. Cautiously, I follow, only jumping a tad as the door closes behind me. Ah, good. It's been set up as I asked. What is all this? The room, or...? He gestures to the contents of the table, which I see now appear to be a kettle gently puffing steam from its spout. All of it. I say as I awkwardly sit myself down. As I've said, it is a meeting room for Socknos members stationed here. There are some things that I found that board members can go without, but a private place to talk is not one of them. And this? Well, I just wanted some tea. Would you like some? Best not. We're still not really sure what I can eat around here. Oh. They told me that this would be fine, but if you insist. I'm sorry, what? Who told you what? I was told that all this would be safe for your consumption. Before my departure, I requested some information on you that I thought might be pertinent. I asked about a few things that I thought worth sharing and quickly got a list of answers. Is it a short list? It seems quite exhaustive from what I saw. I made sure all the plants in the room were on that list as well, of course. I do hope that I was correct too, otherwise I might have wasted precious cargo space on some rather expensive victuals that may go to waste. Is that unexpected as well? Extremely. And you got this list before you left Heron, right? I had it while I was still in Ilo, so a few days prior. Fuck. At this point, I'm willing to bet Socknos has known that I've been here since the beginning. I mean, that's at least 2 weeks that they've known, and I've only been here for about 3. Does that mean that they knew that I was here while I was still in that cell? That feels impossible. I mean, only like 4 people knew that I existed, right? Surely they couldn't have. Is something on your mind, Comet? Huh? Oh, sorry, I was thinking. You seem concerned. Please, let me know if I've done something wrong. I only wish to help. Right. Well, the question stands then. Would you like some tea? I lean away slightly, still unsure as to everything that I've heard today. Clearly Socknos knows far more than we could have expected, but this? Am I willing to risk my life over it? I'm still not sure, sorry. Maybe once the resident alien expert looks over it, then I'll feel more confident. He simply raises an eyebrow. Dr. Seno.
Ah, the second Seno. I can't say that I know very much about him.
Is that strange?
For me it is. Although, if it is certainty that you want, I can promise you that the top researchers at Sockness looked over this personally. I was assured as much.
How could they even run any tests, though? It's not like I've left the station.
Of that, I am unsure. But we are only as valuable as our words, are we not?
I'd be worried how hard he's pushing this persona of trust, if it didn't seem so real. He almost seems more genuine than Rhoun at times. Hardly a fair comparison, but still. But as I stare at the steam softly pouring from the spout of the kettle, I relent. If my trust is misplaced now, then let it be here. I don't doubt for a second that ulterior motives are abuzz, but to shoot down an olive branch so blatant would only set me back to square one. With a sigh, I rub my forehead before replying to the eager Karain. I'll try a cup. A small smile creeps up his muzzle as he gently rolls his sleeve back and begins pouring for us. The steaming water quickly turns a dark ochre in the cup as a smell unknown fills the room. Something akin to cinnamon would be the best that I could describe it. Pouring a cup for himself, he places the kettle back down and turns to me.
We should let that steep for a moment, but shall we?
I can only offer a confused glance as he fails to elaborate.
Begin our conversation?
Is that not what we've been doing?
Perhaps, but as much as I'd like to, we shouldn't spend all day speaking about tea. There are other topics that we must attend to.
Such as?
I think that's for you to decide, Comet.
Well, first of all, how can you understand me? Do you have a neural? And tears of research?
Ah, no. Simply another gift from Socknos' best.
He raises a paw to his ear, showing off what I realize now is some kind of headphone.
It's a bit disorientating, I won't lie, but I was assured that it would pass in time.
That's worrisome. Not only does Socknos know more about me than possibly Merowyn does, but they might even have translated my language somehow as well? Maybe this was a bad idea. Well, I mean, it definitely was, but now I need to make the best of it. Noticing him staring, I quickly straighten up and continue. Well, you seem to know a lot about me then, and yet I still know nothing about you. So tell me, who are you?
Ah, I see I have misspoken. What I said earlier was true, Comet. I know nothing of you. These documents, these reports, they do not tell me who you are. Before yesterday, you were but a number on a file, and yet, today you are Tucker. I will tell you what you wish to know, but please, do not think that I attempt to mislead you.
Well, that was pretty telling. Right, sorry. I've, had a hard time getting answers around here, so sorry if I'm a bit paranoid. He simply nods as I continue. Well, the question stands though. Who are you? He lets out a slight chuff, gently grinning before speaking.
In what aspect, Comet? You see me as Rhyss the shepherd and Rhyss of Socknos. I feel as though you have trepidations about both.
Perhaps some.
Well, let me assuage them. I am the shepherd before all else. My devotion to the Eye and its people is paramount, and my work has not changed that. I was directionless before I found my faith, but in time I was able to mold my belief into something worth sharing, something wonderful. I head one of the largest sanctums towards the northern walls, or the frost bites at our heels yet. From there, I was able to bring hope and aid to those brave enough to still thrive on our borders. And lo, my work was rewarded as it caught the eye of our mutual friend, Soknos.
Ah. Friend is an interesting way of putting it.
They offered funding for my work and allowed me to expand my aid to the western provinces and the plates above. I believe that is when their eyes were truly laying upon me. I had worked with them for a few cycles until they approached me directly. They had offered me a position, but it was one that would take me away from my work, and I had to decline. This happened more than once, in truth.
Why did you take them up on it then? In the end, I mean.
Because they offered me the right position, Comet. One where I could still make a difference, even if I had to relinquish my previous work. Life is hard enough in Alrain. I merely wish to find a way to alleviate that. Is that sufficient, Comet?
For now.
Of course.
That wasn't really as revealing as I had hoped. Maybe I should be more specific. So, I guess I still don't quite understand what you do then. As a shepherd or as a board member, it seems like a pretty big change.
It is. As I have said, I haven't been with Soknos long. So much of the nuance is lost on me, but I don't think my work is much different now than it was before.
How so?
Well, where once I would debate the ideology of the Eye, I now debate project funding and aid distribution. Where once I would give sermons, now I give talks on relief planning and preparation. As things tend to change, I find that in truth they simply come to take new purpose. Tomorrow will forever come, just as it has been said.
It seems as though I've exchanged riddles for prose. Still, at least he's open to answering things. So, what exactly do you do at Soknos?
It depends on the day. Now that I'm a board member, though, I've yet to truly experience much besides meetings. It can be seen as tedious work, but I know the cause is right.
Being?
Aiding those in need, such as yourself, Comet. If you're wondering what my job description would be, though, it would entail managing internal communications on key projects, overseeing internal affairs, and managing Soknos' various aid programs throughout the system. That last part had to be specifically requested, but they were happy to let me see it through.
All that, and the first thing that they do is to ship you out here?
You are quite important, Comet. And, well, I believe you and I both know that there are more than one miracle on this station.
What do you... Oh, yeah, I'm aware.
I figured as much.
How do you feel about it?
How should I feel about it?
Doesn't it strike you as odd at all? That something so important is sequestered all the way out here?
It is a means to an end. One that I've been told is worth seeing through.
That's surprisingly utilitarian of you.
Tomorrow will forever come, Comet. I simply wish to see it better than the last.
I'm starting to see how he can stand to work for Soknos. And what does the Eye think about me then? He smirks and lets out a small chuff.
Are you asking for a sermon? Because that is something that I feel qualified in doing.
I'm just curious.
You seem nervous more than curious, Comet. There is no judgment here. We are both here to learn. So please, ask what you wish. But first, the tea should be ready.
Rolling back his uniform, he gently slides one of the cups over to me as he calmly begins to sip his own. His ears roll back ever so slightly in the dim light as he takes the first sip.
Just right. Please, I implore you. It is not too hot now.
With much trepidation, I manage to reach out and grab the Ian-ware cup. It's warm to the touch, but not unpleasant. Mimicking him the best that I can, I raise the drink up and get a closer look at it. In the warm oranges and browns of the liquid float small flecks of black and green, the smell even more intense now. I look up only to lock eyes with the Karain across from me. His expression joyful but backlit and dim in the light. With a sigh, I say a silent prayer and bring the drink to my lips and... Damn. That is pretty good. It tastes just about how it looks, dark and smoky but with hints of citrus or something. It's not sweet by any means, but it's not as heavy as black tea or something like that. Rhyss, on the other hand, is almost beaming as I take my lips from the cup.
Well, is it to your liking? I have a few more to share with you if this one isn't up to par.
No, it's good. Thank you.
Well, let me know if you would like more. I have more to share. Now then, I believe you were curious about our faith, no?
I mean, I know some things, but I feel as though you're probably more of an expert on this than anyone that I've spoken to so far. I'm just not sure that I quite get it. You see the eye as your, creator? God?
It is many things. We are to look to it for guidance, and if not that, then solace. That no matter what, someone is always looking out for you.
So, does it see me now too?
Of course.
Isn't that strange though? I'm not from here. I have my own concept of religion and the likes.
Concepts? Like?
Well, I'm not really sure anymore, to be honest. He lets out a soft chuckle.
Most experience such a time in their life, Comet.
Well, sure, but does it not rock your faith that I'm here? That there's more out there than what the eye can see?
Tucker, what do you think happened when we as people found our God in the sky was not but a star? And a rather fussy one at that.
I don't know.
Well, there are still shepherds, so that should tell you something. But no, it was strange. Or so I've been told. It was far before my lifetime, so I can only give the account that was passed down from the shepherd before me. It went as such. On the day the first telescope pointed skyward, our people looked inwards. Anxiety gripped the masses as Eris passed into the void. Would this be it? Would this be the end? What could possibly come after? But, and this may just be a myth, our people did not panic. No, they came together, and a certain resolve was found. Do you know why?
Why?
Because faith outlives fear, Tucker. Whatever came next would merely be another step in that journey. It is not to say our faith has never been tested. By the void has it been so, but its resolve has clearly bested most trials. Of course, everyone today knows what the eye is. How they choose to interpret it is up to them. Some come to pray, others just come for guidance. Faith is what you make of it, Comet. Whatever you need, it can be there for you.
Then, how do you interpret it?
I still see it as something divine. Nothing so unique could be not, but I know what truths the universe holds. I am not blind to reality, thus is why I have faith.
Certainly a holy man as ever. I can't fault him though. His convictions seem like one of iron. Thank you. Your perspective is something unique in its own around here.
That's not unusual. I'm just glad that you were willing to listen. I'm sure that you have your own theories on all of this, and I'd love to hear them sometime. Let alone what you could tell me of the practices of your own world.
Sure. If I can remember any.
Let me ask you a question though, Comet. How can you be sure that it is just a star?
I feel like I've heard this somewhere before. What do you mean?
Simply a hypothetical. But how can you be sure that what you see as a star is just that, only a star? I do not wish to test your faith, nor impose my own. I am simply opening a dialogue. It's not often that I get to speak on such matters anymore, especially with someone as unique as yourself.
I guess I can't really know.
Ah, but can anyone? Even I can never really know. But then, what can we claim to truly know? I mean, truly. I understand physics as well as any other Karain. Well, perhaps not around here, but even then, the ways that these forces push and pull on our reality is something that we may never fully comprehend.
I feel as though Tyr would probably say otherwise.
This is not to say that we can walk through life blindly, only understanding an approximation of the real, but to truly know something is beyond us. How can you know that you are you? In a world so disorientating as ours, surely it must be a burden, no?
Cognito ergo sum. I think, therefore I am.
I like that.
Oh god, did I just inject French philosophy into Karain theology? Ugh. It's not foolproof, I'll admit. And these days, well, I can't pretend like I don't feel like a certain self slipping away, but it's the best that I've got.
Sometimes that's all it takes,
he says with a thin smile. Refilling his cup, he adjusts himself and looks out the window for a moment before turning back to me.
Truly the universe is even more wonderful than I had imagined if people like you are in it, Comet.
Huh?
Earlier you asked if your arrival here had swayed my faith, and in truth it did, but not as you may imagine. Tucker, your arrival here has only emboldened it. Just sitting here in this room with you has shown me that there is so much more beyond our understanding. And if any of it is half as lovely as you, well, I only hope that one day we may be able to see it.
You're welcome? There is no response as he simply smiles and sips his tea. The room falls silent save but the hum of the lights as I scratch the back of my head, dumbfounded. I don't think that I understand this Karain in front of me, but I can't say that I dislike him. I'm still wary, as with all things these days, but I think that I want to trust him. I almost need to at this point. What else do I have? I can't exactly go through my life only trusting some select 5 or 6 Karain that I have met in my first few days here. Taking a sip of my tea, I sigh and lean back, looking out into the void. The rest of my life. Tomorrow will forever come. Well, maybe the next one will be better. One step at a time.
Are you all right, Comet?
I think so. Yeah.
I'm glad. I very much enjoyed our conversation today, as I hope that you have as well. I do hope that we can do it again sometime.
Oh, is this goodbye?
I fear a maybe, for you. There are a few things that I need to get ready for tomorrow. I just wanted to meet you while I had the chance.
Can't say I wasn't interested either. But, speaking of, what is your schedule anyways? I know that it's supposed to be given out soon, but I'm just curious.
Meetings, inspections, hopefully time for tea here and there. Why?
Just trying to figure things out.
Of course. I'll be sure you get a copy then. You surely have your own matters to attend to though, and I would loathe to keep you from them. But I do hope that our schedules align again at some point.
Rhyss, what are you hoping to get from these conversations? At this point, I'm happy to talk to you again. I'm not sure I understand.
Must I want something?
Well, no. I just figured that you had some goal in mind. Or some kind of, I don't know, answers you need for Socknose or something?
Do you want to know what I was informed to do if I were to meet you here? Nothing. I was given nothing. No questions, no reports, no anything. I'm not even sure that they'd approve of this little conversation. But they sent me, not anyone else. So surely they knew what was coming. Even my translator was auspiciously given to me without much prompt. I don't doubt that there was any great plans being made for you, Comet. But as for me, well, I simply want to get to know you.
That's almost worse in a way. Knowing Socknose is biding their time instead of just approaching me head on. But he was right. They did send him. Surely they had to know that this would happen, right? Are you sure?
I am. This is not to say things won't change, Comet. I am sure updates will be sent during my stay here, but until then, it's just me.
Well, what goals do you have then? Besides the obvious.
I will have to think of that. In truth, before yesterday I was worried that I wouldn't even be able to understand you at all, and yet, here we are.
He gently gestures around the room as if to state a point.
So, I think my only goal right now is to find a tea good enough for you to finish your cup.
A bit embarrassed, I look down at the mug, noticing how it's still basically full. I'm sorry,
It was in jest, don't worry. But that being said, there are a few other things that I will have delivered to you as soon as I can. They're going through the unloading process, and some of it will have to go through security checks, but eventually it should get to you.
Things like...
Oh, just some other gifts that I thought that you might like, and some things Socknose sent for you. I've looked through the manifest. It is nothing to be worried about.
Sure. How long are you gonna be here anyways?
Of that, I am unsure. There is no deadline for my work, but to complete all of the inspections I've been ordered to do, well, I can't imagine that it'll be done in less than a week. 2 at the least.
That's shorter than I expected. Although he did say things could change, so I guess we'll see.
Well, shall I walk you back to your room?
No, I think I can manage. When should I, expect you again?
I am unsure right now. My schedule was only just finalized this morning, so I'll need to look at it over again before letting you know. Can I always find you in your room? Or is there somewhere else that I should look?
In my... You don't have to come pick me up, Rhyss. It's okay. Can't you just, message me?
Ah, right. I almost forgot. I apologize. Having a monitor is new to me.
Huh. Why would he... Ah, right, the whole aesthetic thing. That must be weird. Here, you can just put in your number. Pulling out my cracked phone, he looks it over for a moment before surprisingly, deftly, putting in his own contact.
I will try to remember to contact you beforehand, Comet, but I apologize in advance if I simply show up. I prefer to speak face to face, as it were.
Sure. Well, it's been very interesting meeting you, Rhyss.
As to you, Comet, keep an eye up for any packages. I'll make sure that they are sent straight to your room, and I do hope to see you soon.
Unsure of what to say, I only respond with a nod as I get up and get ready to head out. Standing up himself, Rhyss walks me to the door and opens it for me, gently gesturing outside. Goodbye, Rhyss.
Till tomorrow, Comet. May the eye favor you, now and forever.
With a polite nod, I step out as he smiles and closes the door. So that's where I'm going to leave it for today. So we finally got to see who this new character is, Rhyss. And he seemed nice in a way. But, he's a corporate employee. He is literally one of the main supervisors, directors, or whatever. So, could you really actually trust him? The captain seems to, be blindsided by the fact that this person is not who she was expecting. And considering how interested in Tucker they are, it is a little suspicious. Especially considering the fact that they said that their orders were in relation to Tucker, that if they were to talk to Tucker, to just do nothing. Like, that there is no quote-unquote ulterior motive with Tucker, but why exactly did they give him the translator, and why is he going out of his way to speak with Tucker? You could say that it's his own little, his curiosity, or his own little religious thing, how he was saying oh, your existence proves that there is stuff out there that we don't know about yet, so I'm curious about you. Okay, right. But the fact that they also already had a list of the things that he could eat or not eat and everything else is a little telling of the fact that that at least Socknose is very interested in Tucker. And because he works for Socknose and works basically directly under the main person, you could stand to reason that his visit there isn't all sunshine and rainbows. But yeah. Also, how Rhoun was saying, this is very worrying. This guy shows up. It's not the person that was supposed to show up. Nobody knew that this was a new person. Conveniently, it was left out for the whole station to know, oh yeah, this is the new guy that's going to be doing all these, the interviews and stuff like that. So it catches everyone off guard. He shows up earlier than expected, and he has gifts for Tucker. So yeah, suspicious. Yeah, he seems nice, but even nice people can be bad. Anywho, so what are your thoughts so far? What are your thoughts on Rhyss? Dino? Do you trust them? Would you trust them? Would you be cautious around them? Because, yeah, sure, he's giving you answers, but, is he just telling you what you want to hear and not really what you need to hear? Is he being manipulative? Anyway, so yeah, write down in the comments what you think, and thank you all for watching / listening. If you would like to play Rhoun traveled yourself, you can do so by going down to the link in the description, which should have a direct link for the Itch.io page where you can download the game and play it yourself. The game has been re-indexed, thankfully, but the whole thing of what's going on is still ongoing, so things are not yet fixed. Anyways, so if you'd like to support the project, you can subscribe to the Patreon like I do and get earlier access to builds of Roads Yet Traveled, and sometimes see some behind the scenes stuff, some works in progress, etc., etc. They sometimes post things like that, yeah. So like, you might see the new characters beforehand, or at least see some sketches or some reworks, some backgrounds, etc., etc. That'll be on their Patreon. And if you would like to support the project, not the project, the channel, my channel, you can become a channel member and get earlier access to these videos. I'm not sure when you'll be seeing this one publicly, but the channel members will be seeing it as soon as I upload it. So yeah, usually within like a day or two after I record. So you know. And if you, in case you can't support me through channel memberships, you can you can support through Ko-fi. Yeah, it helps. All these little donations help. Trust me. Also, Rhoun, in case you feel extra generous, there's stuff on there that I like. I want. Buy it for me. Anyways, but yeah, so I guess that's it for now, and I will see you guys in the next video. Bye-bye.